Welcome back to Broadcast Brains at 2017, SEMPTE 2017. Now we're going through and doing something else. What we'd like to talk about now is TeraDek. And we have our friends John Landman from TeraDek who will be coming on board to discuss this great new little thing, the Cube 757, and more importantly their latest bonded streaming device. So this is a pretty exciting piece of kit for us, and certainly we would welcome John to go and have a chat a little bit more about it. John, welcome to Broadcast Brains at 2017.
Good morning, guys. Good to be here.
Thanks for coming along. I've got in my hand your latest and greatest creation, the Cube 757, along with the latest bonded streaming unit. I was wondering if you could tell us a little bit more about the philosophy behind getting to this new system and some of the great features that we can expect to see from it.
Yeah, I'd love to do that. So obviously the big news in the industry is the huge move from H.264 to H.265 compression. Using H.265, which is supported by that cube that you had in your hands there, we're able to supply the same video quality at half the bit rate. Now, not only is that a H.265 encoder, but we've added a new bonded unit on top of that that allows us to actually bond in that cube all 4 USB connections, the 1 USB connection on the unit itself, so that's 5. We can bond Wi-Fi to 4 phones at the same time, so that's 9, and we can use the Ethernet connection on it all at the same time. We've spent the last 4 years really listening to our customers because we do realize where our shortfallings were with the last bond, and we have now decided to put this bond in a backpack, a very small backpack, but one that also will hold an Anton Bauer battery so that it will power the bond itself. The bond itself will have a 2-minute battery, and so as we're changing the battery, the bond itself won't go down. And with the addition of these nodes, and I can see you have a node in your hand, these are our own modems that we built. And typically, in the US, for example, if I was to use a USB modem from Verizon or from AT&T or from one of our local carriers and put that in a computer, I'd typically get about 5 or 6 megabits per second. When I take the SIM chip out of that USB modem and I put it inside a node, I'm typically seeing about 20 megabits per second. And you ask, so why is this? Why are you getting such, much better data rates out of our own designed node? Well, firstly, it's our own design. It has our own drivers in. As you can see, we have much larger antennas in the node than you do on a USB modem. So, combining all of those differences, means that we get much higher bit rates. In the bag, we're building the modems into the bag, and we can put 4 modems very, very conveniently into the bag to make a very rugged system that news crews have been asking for. I know that our previous bond, when it sat on top of the camera, was prone to being, damaged, knocked, banged. And, this is the month that we actually start releasing all of this. And, the slogan here in the US is go live with 265. And it's been picked up really well, especially with the news from Apple that, 50 bazillion iPhones and iPads are going to support live H.265. So that's a great push for us and a great push for the industry itself.
Well, certainly our experience over the years with the existing bond systems and bond 2s, we've done a huge amount of work with them over the years, and in fact we're using one of our bond systems to stream all of these out via the TeraDek Core cloud management system throughout the whole SEMPTE 2017. One of the things that we're excited about, certainly from what we can see, is that these what I have here, this new little node, is a really exciting thing for getting the higher data rate. But what we've been seeing is where we're looking at often getting about 6 to 8 megabits as an H.264 stream out of our bonds, which we think looks great. We were just imagining if we can get that sort of data rate in H.265, it's going to look absolutely amazing. So we're really excited about this technology, and I suppose moving forward, H.265 has also been designed around Ultra HD as well. So what's the sort of pathway there?
Well, you're absolutely correct. The movement from the existing cube, or the Bond 2, which supported 1080i 60, this new unit that you're holding in your hand does 1080p 60, and I definitely think by next NAB we'll be doing 4K over H.265. Should the ENG world want that? We're not quite sure if that's where people are going to be going, but as a company that is always pushing the boundaries and looking for what's next, you'll definitely start seeing some 4K work coming out of our shop over here.
So getting back a second to the node that I was just holding here before. One of the things that we've been doing with the existing Bond systems, of course, is we load them up with the USB dongles and hope that they don't fall out when they're being operated, and that's all great. But what you're sort of talking about here is that this node has been absolutely optimized for high quality transmission. So in effect, it sounds like that one of these will do a better job than 4 existing USB dongles from our various carriers. Would that be pretty much correct to say?
That would be correct. And I don't know if you experience what we're experiencing here in the US, but it's becoming harder and harder to find these USB modems. Most of the carriers are moving away from them, moving to MiFi hotspots, etc., etc. So the node that you're holding, you actually only have to put a SIM chip in it, and it will take any SIM chip in Australia, I believe. I don't know the final testing that's been done, but I know here in the US we're able to take any SIM chip from any of the carriers, plug it straight in on the side there, and immediately start working with it, which is really means that you're very, very flexible, because to hold a number of SIM chips is very inexpensive, and means you can travel around the country using the best available networks that exist.
Oh, absolutely. Our world in Australia, it's been exactly the same experience ourselves. We've been almost hoarding the 4G USB dongles as we can get them, and it becomes a bit of a sad day when they get destroyed in the line of duty, so to speak. But something along the lines of this node, I think, is another area to really, I suppose, harden the whole live transmission system, and certainly quite an exciting thing that we've had some amazing success with the Bond systems over the years, and when we'd seen that with the new Cube series going to H.265, we were thinking to ourselves, well, this is going to be another game changer. So from here, with the new Bond, you're talking about all of these different connectivity options with the 4 USBs. We have the onboard here, and also I did read we can also tether to iPhones as well. So you could have up to 9 different ways to, or 9 simultaneous tethering options on just one of these units. Would that be correct?
That is correct, and we can tether the iPhone either via the Wi-Fi that's on the unit itself, or we can use the very popular USB to the lightning cable, the charger cable, and plug an iPhone straight in. That's one of the uses of the bag is that it's going to be very easy to add a phone. It's going to be a small backpack that you can throw down, plug in all your devices. But as you've said, with the use of a couple of nodes, you're really not going to need that much more.
Sure. Now, the other key part of this is your core cloud management system. So obviously, where are we sitting with core? We've got upgrades over the system over time to deal with this H.265. Will we have a roadmap forward where we can also downlink this H.265 to say back to SDI?
Well, let me give people a little bit of an introduction as to what is Core. Core, if you think of Core as a Gmail account where you would sign into your Gmail account, you sign into your Core. And now when you set up one of our bonds, you don't actually do any settings to it. You actually just put your Core username and password in. It self-registers itself in the Core account, becomes a source. And from there, you can manage it. You can set data rates. You can change delays. You can actually record that feed in the cloud, and you can route it. And you can route it to an unlimited number of CDNs. We just did 109 Facebook pages for one customer. We did 32 Facebook pages for the NFL draft here in the US. But, you know, we want to talk a little bit about what we're doing with H.265. And, you know, as you know, most stations at the moment have 264 decoders. So what are we going to do? Well, we've released also with the 265 encoder live transcoding in the cloud as part of your Core package. So what will happen is you'll send 265 up to the cloud, because typically that's where you're challenged in bandwidth. Up to the cloud, we'll then, within subframe time, translate that into 264 to the relevant bit rate that you choose, and then be able to route that, as we've done existingly, to our existing range of decoders.
Okay, well, that certainly sounds like it's a great start and allows us to get that extra quality up to the cloud. And I think from our experience over time, the biggest challenge has been getting our signals into the TeraDek Core system. And then from there, because we've generally had more reliable connections to downlink the signal, I can see how we can achieve a much better image quality even if we're downlinking an H.264. But certainly it's really exciting to see the future being H.265, and with the new TeraDek Bond and Cube encoders here, it's really going to make a big difference. And I think from a quality aspect is probably going to really change the idea of people looking at the way, or I suppose the choices they make in live links on even broadcast jobs as well. So in that respect, it's a very exciting time. So John, thanks for your time today at Broadcast Brains. Really appreciate you Skyping in here today, and have a good afternoon.
Thank you very much.
Cheers.
Have a good show.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.